Why would you buy a home without a realtor? Would you canoe without a life jacket? Would you ride on the back of a motorcycle without hanging on tight to your girlfriend? I'm your girlfriend. People want a house that speaks to them. Or not a house that actually speaks to them. They'd have to disclose that to the buyer, which would be awkward. Although, I guess you could always have the house tell them.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. Last week, federal law enforcement finally admitted that they've been covering up for Jeffrey Epstein and his sick crimes in revealing that they have tens of thousands of videos of a pornographic nature that were taken on Epstein's Island Ranch and Manhattan mansion. No doubt on those videotapes, you'll have presidents, prime ministers, heads of state, Hollywood celebrities, bankers, and billionaires. That's the list that we want. Until we get those videos, however, I have something else disturbing to show you. The most disturbing video of Jeffrey Epstein doesn't include Jeffrey Epstein at all, actually. It includes the wife of a very powerful senator. Her name is Cindy McCain. She's been an ambassador. She was married to John McCain throughout his entire time in the U.S. Senate, where he sat on the Intel Committee. She's here at a human trafficking conference, and she says this about Jeffrey Epstein.
It hides in plain sight. Epstein was hiding in plain sight. We all knew about him. We all knew what he was doing.
We all knew about him. We all knew what he was doing. Says one of the most powerful women in all of politics. Her husband ran for president as the Republican nominee. He remained the most powerful and senior member of the Senate for most of his life. John McCain is a very powerful man. Yet Cindy McCain admits something here.
But we had no one that was legal aspect that would go after him. They were afraid of him. For whatever reason, they were afraid of him.
Well, your husband was on the Intel Committee, lady. Maybe you could ask some questions about this? I don't remember John McCain ever talking about Jeffrey Epstein at all. She's saying we all knew about him and that it hides in plain sight. Well, you know, the nature of evil actually is that it does hide in plain sight. It has to be very outward. It has to be very grandiose and grotesque. This is and always has been the nature of evil. Some of those evil people on earth are the Podesta brothers. They run the Democrat Party. They run Democrat presidents and administrations, up to and including the Obama administration and the Biden administration. Tony Podesta famously had some artwork on his walls, very disturbing and sick stuff, including children in horrifying positions, stuff that shouldn't even be legal. Speaking of demons, here's one of his pieces of art that the Podestas purchased. Again, these are the masterminds behind the modern Democrat Party. Children in cages being carted off by demons as they scream. The children are screaming in the cages, and the demons are carrying them off to torture them. This is the kind of art that was hanging on the wall, and it really does tell you something about who's running the modern Democrat Party. Again, these are the Podestas from the Podesta emails about spirit cooking dinners and pizza parties and hot dogs. Anyway, they're not the only predators and creeps to have strange wall hangings and decorations. Jeffrey Epstein had this famous photo painting of Bill Clinton in the famous blue dress. This is the blue dress that led to Bill Clinton's impeachment because it had all of his biological material splattered all over the front of it. Monica Lewinsky dress. What a strange photo. Bill Clinton in a dress. Where was it hanging? Oh, it was hanging in the entryway of Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan mansion. There it is. One of the few photos you see of the Manhattan mansion. You'll notice also the temple-like structure here. We'll get to that in just a second. What does this photo mean? It means I own you to Bill Clinton. That's what it means. It means you're mine. I've got you on tape. Tapes now that are in the possession of the FBI and DOJ. And damn it, they better release them. He also had a very strange photo, painting of George Bush sitting in a childlike pose, flying paper airplanes into Jenga towers. Okay. That's a recording for another time, but I'll let you infer what you think that is. The point is that we don't know much about Jeffrey Epstein or his art. We haven't seen much inside of his properties, since these people are so outward about what they have going on. Be interesting to see more. James O'Keefe has promised more. Last week he dropped a video where Prince Andrew was effing underage girls. Tape of royal family advisor exposes Prince Andrew's sexual relations with minors and deep ties to Jeffrey Epstein. That's news and certainly is of note, but James promised more. Okay, well, let's wait and watch James cook. And here we go. James says tomorrow, and he gives geographic location on a map. Where is that geographic location? Well, it's right here. That would be Little St. James. This would be Epstein's Island. The main residence, in fact, on Epstein's Island, right there. You can see here the Little St. James Island, the famous temple, and so on. I believe this would be the famous temple site right here, since decommissioned, or has it been? More on that in just a second. So now James has released what was, well, the reporting and the purpose of this tweet with this location. And it is the first footage inside of Jeffrey Epstein's house on Little St. James. Now, up till now, all we've seen has been drone footage of the island mansion. Here you can see drone footage of federal agents storming the mansion and taking away boxes of evidence, including having Jeffrey Epstein's Apple, you can see there, his Mac screen and tower wrapped up as evidence. Where is all that? You dumb bastards. Where is it all? They keep lying to us, the American people. They keep lying to us as though we don't have this footage. But of course, this drone wasn't able to get inside of the house. James O'Keefe has footage inside of the house. We'll play it for you now. And we have something very important to break down for you afterwards because we noticed something here. Let's go.
Media is releasing never-before-seen footage from inside the buildings on Jeffrey Epstein's island. The island, known as Little St. James, is located in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Drones have flown overhead in the past, independent journalists have snuck ashore, but no footage or images from inside these buildings has ever been published until now. This footage was captured about a year after Epstein's arrest. In this world-exclusive, O'Keefe Media Group takes you through the kitchen inside the main mansion, a villa used for hosting high-profile visitors and events. Through our reporting, we can confirm this footage is authentic. You'll see the entire kitchen is a sterile white with stainless steel appliances. There are sparse decorations, including a few pieces of coral, but there does appear one prominent artwork, a large framed photo of a nude baby in a sink. The baby is holding a phallic-shaped object. The image is hung above the kitchen table. It begs the question, why did Jeffrey Epstein choose to place this image inside of a kitchen where visitors would eat, cook, and entertain? The publication of this footage comes on the heels of our report last week of a royal fixer admitting Prince Andrew had sex with underage girls.
Okay, so we've done a little extra research on this, and we found some very disturbing facts about what was displayed here in Jeffrey Epstein's kitchen. This is the best that we have right here of the image. It is of a child with a phallic toy object. We'll get to that in just a second. And then another painting inside of this image. What's going on here exactly? Well, the baby in the bathtub is obviously disturbing. This isn't normal artwork. You wouldn't obviously want to hang photos of naked babies in your house. This artwork behind the baby, however, is a Picasso painting. Here it is. The toy rattle that the baby was holding here is a Little Tykes maraca musical instrument, shaker, red handle. We're not sure about what that might mean, but we do know what the painting's about. The painting's about drowning children. Les Sauvetage, okay, meaning the rescue in English, is a series of paintings by Pablo Picasso, created in 1932, depicting the rescue of children from drowning. The central figure in these works is Picasso's lover and muse, who was the subject of the rescue scene. The painting captures dramatic seaside rescue. The figures engaged in beach activities while the languid body of a bather is hoisted from the water. The figures in the painting draw unmistakable style of Maria Teresa, as she was depicted in Picasso's earlier works from that year. The series is inspired when she fell into a river and contracted a near-fatal illness. This painting was purchased for $31 million in Sotheby's in New York, exceeding its valuation by 75%. Some say that the painting may have been purchased by the Saudi crown prince. Anyway, this seems to be some type of symbolism here behind this child, the saving of innocent people from drowning, and the baby in the bath. It's freaking dark, man. But you might say, hey, listen, that's not really much in the James O'Keefe video. There's not really a lot going on there. Well, if James has this video inside of the island, is he teasing more releases? Yes, he is. At the beginning of the video, James says we have more videos, plural, from inside of the island, and that we'll be releasing them soon. This may be just the first in a series, we'd have to assume. And will we see more artwork? Will that artwork include Bill Clinton, as it did in Jeffrey Epstein's mansion in Manhattan? The big question that I have is about the temple on the island, the famous Jeffrey Epstein temple. Some people saying that the temple is the set of the Ellen DeGeneres show. We're not sure about that. But we do know that both these photos are real, and they sure do look similar. And, well, at the very least, this temple is something that nobody's ever explained. What the hell is it? What's going on here? Why does this temple exist? What's inside of it? Why are the walls so thick and load-bearing? Why does that temple match the exact interior of Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan apartment? Looks like it's built in sort of like an old-style way, like almost like an Egyptian tomb. What's going on there exactly? Can somebody explain that, please? Look, these are load-bearing walls. This is something that clearly goes underground. Something is going on here, and nobody has ever given us any explanation. Does James O'Keefe finally have the videos from inside of this temple that could elucidate what was truly going on? We wait. We're learning more than we've learned in a very long time about Jeffrey Epstein's operation, and more importantly, what the feds have on it. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we'll just ask the question, is this why Ellen fled the country? Don't know. But we look forward to finding out. And of course, this channel will be the #1 place to do that. We won't miss a step